Disgusting things I've done as an alcoholic. This is going to be a follow-up to the story that I told last. If you're new here, my name's Amanda. I am a recovering alcoholic. I used to drink vodka and take kratom all day, every day for about 3 years straight. I got sober because I got into a very serious car accident, fractured my pelvis in 3 different places, and found out that I was pregnant. Last we took off, I was laying in a hospital bed and I had just gotten T-boned. My fault, but I was sober when I got in the car accident. A lot of you were saying that I wasn't sober because I was hungover. I didn't get a DUI. They did not detect any alcohol in my blood, which they did take. I was laying in the hospital bed and they had told me that I was pregnant before my boyfriend at the time arrived at the hospital. You know, he was of course positive that I got into a drunk driving accident because he knew that I drove under the influence every day. And he asked me, were you? And I said no, but I have to tell you something. I'm pregnant. And he just looked at me and then he smiled. Neither of us said a word. He immediately begins to wash my very filthy, dirty feet. And then he started yelling at the nurses, asking them why no one has cleaned my feet for me. As I said in the previous video, my shoes flew off while I was in the car and got hit. I don't know how that happened, but they did. So when I crawled out of my window to get out of the car, I landed in a dirt road, and so when they took me away on the gurney, my feet were completely caked in like dirt and rocks and probably other stuff. They were very clear with me that there was really nothing they could do for me at this point. They couldn't make me more comfortable because since I was pregnant, and they had taken x-rays before they knew that I was pregnant, because they asked me on the way there, is it possible that you're pregnant? And I said, I don't think so, but I guess it's always possible, you know? So they saw enough to know that my pelvis was fractured. But once they saw that I was pregnant, because they also did an ultrasound to see if I had any internal bleeding, they stopped all of the x-rays and the tests right there, obviously. And they told me that for the pain, I was just in for a rough one, essentially. They wanted to see if I could stand before they discharged me. They were discharging me either way, they said, but they wanted to see how I did with a walker. I could not stand. I could not even sit up without everyone like helping me. Keep in mind, not only is it going through my mind that I'm pregnant, oh my gosh, I have to stop now. I can't have any. I can't taper off. I have to stop taking kratom. I have to stop drinking. I have to do that all together. And I'm going to be in an enormous amount of pain. The pain I'm in right now is going to get worse because my body's still in shock and I haven't even moved yet. I'm going to be in so much pain. I'm going to be bedbound. I have to take care of all of this, like with the insurance and the car, all the stress. I have to rebuild my relationship. I have to figure out how I'm going to get my son to school and back. I have to figure all of that out without alcohol and kratom and without anything for my pain. I wasn't going home with any fun drugs this time. When I broke my ribs and punctured my lung when I was drunk, I was so excited because I got to go home with some really good painkillers, all of which I took in a matter of like 2 nights. On top of all of that going through my head, I want you to know that my car, although I was sober at the time of the accident, my car had probably about a gallon of vodka hidden in various parts of it. Last I saw my car, a sheriff was going to make sure that it got towed to the appropriate place, and he asked me if I would like him to look through my car to see if he could track down my insurance for me because I couldn't find it. I was shitting. And I had the kind of glove compartment, my car was just falling apart. I didn't take care of anything. My glove compartment was the type that I had stuffed it to the brim so much that it had come unhinged. So if I locked it into place, like if I closed it, it would stay closed. But the second that you open it, the actual door falls off and everything inside of my glove compartment falls out. So if that sheriff goes in there, I would say probably there's at least like 3 like half fraction drank bottles of vodka that will come spilling promptly out of that glove compartment. And I also knew that I had various bottles hidden under my seats. I had bottles hidden where my spare tire would be. I had alcohol hidden all over my car so that I would never be in a situation where I didn't have it. That was going through my mind. So as we're leaving the hospital, I'm in a wheelchair, and of course my boyfriend drives a lifted truck. I have to make it from the wheelchair into the lifted truck, just depending on his strength, to lift my 200 pounds then of just like dead meat into the truck. I just want you to know that was so humbling, and to be supportive. All the nurses were gathered around and they started clapping when he managed to get me inside of the truck. Yeah. We had not talked about anything. We hadn't resolved any issues yet, because not only was I addicted to alcohol and kratom, I was a liar. And I'm not associating that or saying there's a correlation or cause that because I was addicted to alcohol, that was why I was a liar, or the devil made me do it. No, I was a liar because I chose to lie, because I liked the lie better than I liked the truth in almost every situation. We hadn't discussed any of my lies, any of my deceptive behavior, any of my flakiness, any of like my unreliability. We didn't discuss anything that I had done in the relationship that any other person would have just like left me on the side of the road. So all of this in one morning before 10 a.m., I want to say. This was the easy part. I had no idea that the baby that I was carrying, who is now my daughter, who just turned 2 years old, we had no idea that our little fetus of a daughter would have to have open heart surgery 2 days after she was born, and that we would spend over a month in NICU. We had a very long road ahead of us.